In Pakistan, a nation of 240 million, a dramatic power struggle is underway. On one side, Imran Khan, cricket hero turned populist, adored by millions, Mr. Popular. On the other, General Asim Munir, head of the powerful military, Mr. Power. This is more than a personal feud, it's a battle for Pakistan's soul, pitting popular will against entrenched authority. The outcome will shape Pakistan's fragile democracy and reverberate across the region. Nuclear security, regional stability, and citizens' rights all hang in the balance. Today, December 17, 2025, Khan sits in prison while Munir's grip tightens. The world watches, knowing what happens in Pakistan rarely stays there. Pakistan's history is defined by a tense dance between civilian leaders and the military, a relationship marked by suspicion, rivalry, and shifting alliances. From the country's earliest days, the military has been more than just a defender of borders. It has been a powerful political force, shaping the nation's destiny from behind the scenes and, at times, in full view of the public. The army has ruled directly for half of the country's existence, staging coups and installing military governments. Even during periods of civilian rule, generals have continued to dominate foreign policy and security decisions, often overshadowing elected officials and making it clear where real power lies. No prime minister has ever completed a full term. Civilian authority is always precarious. Governments are frequently dismissed, and leaders find themselves under constant threat, whether from the courts, the opposition, or the military itself. The military claims to be the nation's ultimate guardian, intervening whenever it sees fit, often justifying its actions as necessary to protect national stability or fight corruption, but always reinforcing its own dominance. This cycle stunts democracy, leaving institutions weak and politicians vulnerable. The constant threat of intervention undermines public trust and makes it difficult for democratic norms to take root. Imran Khan, once an establishment favorite, challenged the military's supremacy, crossing a line few dared. His rise and subsequent fallout with the generals highlight the risks faced by any leader who tries to assert civilian authority. Now, his clash with General Munir is the latest, most dramatic chapter in Pakistan's ongoing struggle for real civilian rule, a struggle that continues to shape the country's future, with consequences for every Pakistani citizen. Imran Khan was a national hero long before he entered politics, a cricket legend who led Pakistan to its only World Cup victory, a philanthropist who built hospitals for the poor, and a symbol of hope for millions. His charisma and determination made him a household name, admired not just for his sporting achievements, but for his commitment to social causes and his vision for a better Pakistan. In 1996, Khan took a bold step by founding the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI, promising a new Pakistan free from corruption, injustice, and dynastic politics. He challenged the status quo, vowing to bring accountability and transparency to government. For years, he struggled on the political fringes, often dismissed by established politicians. But his anti-elite message, calls for reform, and relentless energy began to resonate, especially with the young and urban middle class who were hungry for change and tired of old political families. Khan tirelessly traveled the country, building a grassroots movement from scratch, inspiring volunteers and energizing a new generation of political activists. In 2018, after more than 2 decades of struggle, Khan's party swept to power in a historic election, though critics argue that the military played a significant role in his victory. But Khan's growing confidence, independent streak, and populist style soon put him at odds with the powerful generals who had once supported him, leading to increasing tensions behind the scenes. As Prime Minister, Khan became a direct voice for the people, using social media and live broadcasts to bypass traditional power brokers and connect with ordinary citizens in real time. His popularity only grew, even as his government faced mounting challenges and criticism. Supporters saw him as a leader who spoke their language and understood their frustrations. Khan became more than just a politician. He became a movement, an unstoppable force that the traditional establishment could no longer control, inspiring hope and defiance across the nation. General Asim Munir's authority comes from the army's iron discipline. A career officer, Munir rose through the ranks, leading intelligence agencies and earning a reputation for toughness. His rivalry with Khan began in 2019, when Khan removed him as ISI chief after Munir raised corruption concerns. When Munir became army chief in 2022, the battle lines were set. Munir moved swiftly to restore the military's dominance, cracking down on Khan's party after violent protests in May 2023. Thousands were arrested, the PTI was dismantled. A constitutional amendment granted Munir lifetime immunity, making him virtually untouchable. Munir is now the immovable object, determined to keep the military supreme. In April 2022, Imran Khan was ousted as Pakistan's Prime Minister through a dramatic no-confidence vote in Parliament. Khan, who had once been hailed as a national hero, immediately denounced the move as a foreign-backed conspiracy, claiming that powerful international actors and domestic rivals had joined forces to remove him from office. The political shockwaves were immediate and profound, shaking the very foundations of Pakistan's fragile democracy. Refusing to accept defeat, Khan launched a series of mass protests across the country. He openly named senior military leaders, breaking long-standing political taboos and directly challenging the military's influence in politics. His fiery speeches electrified his supporters and drew huge crowds, turning the streets into battlegrounds of public opinion. Tensions reached a boiling point in May 2023, when Khan's dramatic arrest triggered an eruption of violence. For the first time in Pakistan's history, angry protesters stormed and attacked military installations, setting vehicles ablaze and damaging property. The country watched in shock as the confrontation between Khan's supporters and the state spiraled out of control. The military responded with an unprecedented and sweeping crackdown. Thousands of PTI members and supporters were rounded up, many detained without charge. In a controversial move, hundreds were tried in military courts, raising serious concerns about due process and human rights. Khan himself was rearrested in August and has remained in solitary confinement ever since. Facing over 150 legal cases, he has become a symbol of resistance for his followers, who see his imprisonment as politically motivated and unjust. Despite the PTI being banned from contesting elections, independent candidates loyal to Khan defied the odds. They won the most seats in the National Assembly, a testament to Khan's enduring popularity and the public's desire for change. Yet, even with this electoral victory, Khan's allies were blocked from forming a government. Instead, a rival coalition, widely seen as backed by the military, took power, deepening suspicions of political interference and fueling further unrest. Today, Pakistan is more divided than ever. Khan's popularity remains undiminished among millions, while the legitimacy of the new government is hotly contested. The streets are filled with passionate supporters on both sides, and the nation's future hangs in the balance. The state's heavy-handed response has only fueled public anger, pushing many to question the very foundations of Pakistan's democracy and rule of law. As the crisis deepens, Pakistan's democracy stands at its most fragile, with the path forward more uncertain than ever before. With Khan in jail, a fierce information war rages. His family and lawyers allege mental torture and isolation. The government insists he's treated fairly. Official figures claim Khan has had hundreds of visits, but his supporters see him as a political prisoner. A viral post, allegedly from Khan, warns, "If anything happens to me, hold General Munir responsible." Khan's sister publicly challenges the army chief, declaring, "There is no law anymore, only Asim Munir's law." These statements keep Khan's cause alive, fueling his supporters' anger. Even from prison, Mr. Popular remains a disruptive force in Pakistani politics. The world is watching Pakistan's crisis closely. Human rights groups condemn the crackdown on Khan and the use of military courts. At the UN, India denounced Pakistan's constitutional coup and the jailing of Khan, escalating diplomatic tensions. India suspended the Indus Waters Treaty, threatening Pakistan's water security and economy. Western governments are torn, needing stability from the military, but pressured to support democracy. Pakistan's turmoil is now a regional crisis with global implications. The country's instability threatens not just itself, but the entire region. The Khan Munir showdown has left Pakistan polarized and unstable. The 2024 elections produced a weak, unpopular government, deepening the legitimacy crisis. Economic turmoil, soaring inflation, debt, and investor flight has made daily life a struggle for millions. The crackdown on dissent has stifled free speech and shrunk democratic space. Society is fractured, with families and communities divided by political loyalties. Experts warn the state's obsession with crushing one opponent is crippling its ability to govern. Urgent reforms are stalled. The focus remains on the power struggle. The real cost is paid by ordinary Pakistanis whose futures hang in the balance. Pakistan teeters on the edge, its fate uncertain. Pakistan faces three possible futures. 1. The military cements its rule, silencing dissent but risking endless unrest. 2. A political settlement, Khan's release and PTI's return, requiring compromise that seems impossible now. 3. Continued confrontation, deeper chaos and economic collapse. The world cannot afford to ignore a nuclear-armed nation in crisis. The struggle between Mr. Popular and Mr. Power is a defining test for Pakistan's future. Will the ballot box or the barracks decide the nation's fate? The answer will shape not just Pakistan, but the region and the world.